love that. Moving with the Morenos.
What's up, cool, man? Right? How are you?
Good, brother. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I've just been slam-packed busy this week. It's been wonderful.
Oh, good. Yep.
We've been just attacking these buyers and taking them to every single place that they want to go. And it's been fun, showing houses and just making sure that we have happy clients.
Heck yeah. Have you noticed a pickup in Yuba City, Marysville specifically?
Yeah, I've noticed a pickup across the board, really. But what I've really noticed, and I was talking to you one night about it, we were having a strategy session, and I've noticed a lot of the people that are starting to come back into the fray are people that got beat up real bad 2 years ago by cash investors. They licked their wounds for a couple of years, and now they're back in action talking about, I think I can actually compete and buy a house now.
Fantastic. Cool, man. Are you guys working Sacramento much?
Yeah, we just sold a halfplex out there, and that was a listing, but we're really just taking clients all over the northern state of California. We were back in Corning and Rancho Tehama yesterday, or the day before yesterday, and then yesterday was a listing appointment with 2 showings afterwards, and Monday we were somewhere else. But we're all over the place. It's just really wherever our clients need us to take them and get them access and representation.
Yeah, man, we see a lot of cool places because we got such a small market. We're kind of in a bunch of markets, so it's kind of fun to travel around. Our Sacramento buyers are fighting, man, for houses right now. It is pretty brutal over there.
Yeah, what's crazy is like Sacramento used to be so much more expensive than we were. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Sacramento being just like people from Yuba City are like, man, this is ridiculously priced out in Sacramento. I'm so glad I live in a small town. And now I've noticed a lot of the places like it's almost bridged the gap to where Sacramento is not more expensive at all.
No, I really noticed it at the, like the million mark. Like if you're going to buy a home in Yuba City for $1 million plus, you almost get more home in Sacramento. It's crazy. And a lot of changes happening. Real interesting market, huh?
Yeah, it's been different. I've never, so I was a real estate agent before COVID, just as you were. And I do remember the market being sort of similar, but nothing like this. Like there's just some quality to this market where it's like now we're dipping back into a low inventory situation. And we have a ton of buyers that we're communicating with. So there is competition that we haven't seen before. And it's been really interesting to me, I'm not as into it as like Ed Lenzer, but I have a lot of investors that I deal with and they're coming out of the woodwork too. And that's where I see like all the cash coming. Whereas a year or two ago, all the cash was coming from the Bay Area buying this normal houses. It's almost back to a normalized market where investors are, fighting each other with cash. And then the competition on the buyer side is really people, what loan is going to get it done. Right. And in a multiple offer situation, it's no longer like, oh, here's this, $115,000 over asking in cash. It's all right. We have a buyer that as an FHA, buyer that's conventional, buyer that's VA. Let's get net sheets and figure out what the best is for our seller. Right. And so to me, the competition is kind of normalized in that respect. Have you noticed some of that?
Yeah, I guess so, man. We are like right now, just now I was saying, hey, they're cool with waiving the contingencies. We're back to that in SAC where we're over asking, of course, we're waiving contingencies, we're doing all that. In Yuba City, we're seeing both. We're able to get some credits done sometimes for some of the players, and it's just different. It's been kind of fun to navigate through.
It's a lot more fun to be able to talk about a $12,000 seller's credit going towards some closing costs. I mean, that's been nice for me.
Dreams plan at all that everybody was talking about? Did you have any buyers in that?
Yeah, we had a couple try, but it was gone so fast that if you weren't in escrow, you weren't getting through. So we had to come up with some different strategies for those buyers, but we still have them buying just with FHA and maybe a smaller loan limit.
That's crazy. That really sparked some action for a few weeks.
Yeah. It caused a frenzy, didn't it?
Yeah. Everyone jumping in for 20% down, no mortgage insurance. There is, pros and cons to that loan. I'm not too sure how I feel about it, but
right.
Pretty cool stuff. You been to any events lately?
Yeah, we did our Easter egg hunt event. That went really good. I think we had about 400 people show up to Shanghai Bend Park.
How'd you get 400 people? Like wine? Keg? How'd you get 400 people? Wine, a keg? What'd you do?
Email marketing, man. Everybody heard about us online. And, some of it was that they had a blast last year. And so they're like, okay, the Morenos are throwing it down again this year. Let's go check it out and see what they've got going on. Last year was kind of a headache because it was like about to rain. Was that your new car?
I don't know. I didn't. It says it's a carrot car and it says Happy Easter, and I didn't know it was back there.
I love it.
We have my granddaughter was here. She might still be here, so I'm shooting from home today.
Right.
But yeah.
So last year, it was about to rain, and we had vendors back out and stuff. So we had less vendors last year, but this year, I mean, we had a good turnout. I want to say like 12, 13 vendors and, hundreds of people, and it was a great time.
Fantastic. It really was. Kids had a good time, got loaded up with eggs and right on.
Vendors got business, kids got eggs. That's the goal every year. And we just like doing something nice for the community.
Yeah, I think it's very cool what you guys are doing out there. So you're going to do that annually. Do you have any other events you guys are tossing around?
Yeah, so we do that annually, and then we do the county fair. We have a booth there.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's probably our best lead source right now, bro. Like every single year that we do the fair, we get, so many leads, and, we just follow up on them and get them into whatever they need throughout the year. But it's fun because you get to see the whole community. Like everybody comes by your booth and says hi. Even if they don't want our services, obviously real estate agents, we're pretty talkative people. So folks like to stop by and just pick our brains and get to know us. And it's a wonderful way to kind of train people to know, like, and trust us, being out in the community and doing public stuff,
And people want to know what the heck's going on. Are the prices up? Are they down? Is up? Is interest down?
And there's been a ton of miscommunication going around. And I've been talking a lot about this. I've been talking a lot about, one, what I've been doing to get people into the pipeline, right? I had our CRM calling, texting and emailing customers on my behalf, but I wasn't calling them. And now I've been calling my database every single day and just having conversations, trying to bring value, instead of, hey, I want to sell you a house. It's, you have any market related questions that I can answer for you today? I had a guy tell me that he thought the interest rates were at like 9%.
Yeah.
I was like, where did you get that information? He was like, Facebook and Google, just the internet in general. And from watching the news. I said, well, I have good news for you today. They're not at 9%. At the time of this conversation that I had, interest rates were locking in with my lender at like the low sixes. And he was like, oh, that's a lot better. I was like, yeah, the market's not as bad as you think it is. You know?
Big difference, right?
Big difference, you know? But we always talk about too, you know, you purchase the house and date the rate, you know, interest rates are going to go up and down, but you know, it's about doing the right thing, making the right decision at the right time for you to buy.
Yeah, there's something overlooked too, in the fact that like when I bought my first house, it was 6.75, and the prices were ridiculous. I bought my house for 66 grand,
Right.
and it was hard for me to make the $660 mortgage payment or whatever it is. But people overlook the power of what happens over the years. That same house today rent for $2,000 a month.
Right.
You know. So had I stayed there renting, I would have absorbed all that and if I still own that house, which I don't anymore, my payment would still be $660.
Right.
You know, it's just hard at first to say, you know, I'm going to pay a little more than rent possibly. Interest rates are high or low and you're taking advice from everybody. But the end of the day, you got to own some property.
You got to have some assets. Yeah. I mean, you have to own something that's going to appreciate in value. You know, and at the end of the day, property is the only way to go. I mean, you can play with the stock market, and I know a lot of people do. I personally don't. I mean, we have EXP stock, and that's probably something I'm going to be changing about our investment strategy over the next 5 years, diversifying a little bit more. But property, that's what I want to own.
Yep.
And right now the rental market is so hot. Like it makes it so easy to get someone, you know, convinced that they need to step into a 30-year mortgage and start building their equity instead of flushing it down the toilet. I mean, I talked to a guy that was paying, it was like $3,700 a month in rent in Yuba City for a house. Yep. I was like, bro, simple. We're done. We'll get you in touch with a lender. You make enough money. I guarantee you. Let's just get this ball rolling, and you know, we're going to get him into a house to where he's.
Well, the flip side of that, though, Matt, is if his rent never goes up in 10 years, that $3,700 will be a steal.
Yeah. And how much is at that point? You know, in 10 years, I mean, plus 300 grand down the drain. You know,
my goodness, yeah. What we did worked out so well was that just buying a little under what we could afford, living in it for a while, riding it, take the equity out, leverage, buy another one, rent it out, buy another one. We just it's so much easier than people think.
Right.
Yep. But
so. You guys just got back. I mean, I guess you just got back from Cabo, right?
Yeah, Cabo. That was what is the name of that? One big fire, Cabo 23. It was a mixed event. It talked about you know, leveraging some of the vehicles that EXP offers. So part of it wouldn't apply to everybody, but they also did about half of it on production. And, you know, building your actual real estate business. So there were huge takeaways from that on generating leads and stuff. And it all comes down to, you know, when you break down what the different speakers say is just really mastering a skill. Like a lot of people dabble in social media, they dabble in open houses, they dabble in online lead gen, but those that have mastered it are really doing well. And while a lot of agents, you know, NAR predicted 30% of the agents will be exiting the business, there's a lot of us that are exceeding last year's numbers already, and we're going into the next quarter right now, right? So it really going to depend a lot on mindset and actually, you know, doing the work and not taking orders anymore. I think those days passed us by.
Yeah. And, you know, I love the fact that you brought up mastering something instead of being very, very marginal at everything. figure something out. Like Brent said it at Build last year. He was like, if you're really good at open houses, be really good at open houses. Do nothing but open houses. That's your new office, is at the open house. And you're just like meeting clients at the open house. You're communicating with them and you're getting them into your CRM. I think that's so beneficial for listeners and viewers right now that are in our business, that are struggling, wondering, man, what the heck do I do? Yeah, just figure one thing out, do it really well, then figure out another thing, do it really well. Read as many books as humanly possible. That's helped me out in business a lot. Which is probably something that you're shocked to hear me say.
Not now.
Compared to when you first met me. But get really good at the open house. That really helped me out before, the whole world shut down. I got really good at open houses and I had fun, because when you're good at something, it's fun. Doing these lives used to be, super, super stressful to me. But now, like I remember you went live at my listing back on Jewel. Remember that? And I was like, I straight up told you I wasn't going to do a live. And you're like, cool. Hey, Steve McCarthy live here with Matt Moreno. Like, yep.
Yeah. It probably seemed really mean at the time.
Yeah, but check it out. The mindset changes that have happened that have gotten us all to where we're doing this kind of stuff. I mean,
yeah, man. Well,
you get really good at one thing at a time, and you keep adding to your skill set. That's the only thing people can do right now.
We jumped with lives. Me and you jumped right in the pool. We didn't put our toes in there. It was mean, but like I know when somebody's capable of it, you were capable of doing a live video. Now you do them all the time.
Now I do them all the time, and Facebook just monetized my account because I do all of these lives. I know,
that's really cool to hear. Yeah. People overcomplicate mastering an area. It's not that, like, when you start out something you're not good at, no problem. My first $1 million listing, I'm like, well, I don't know. Is the open house different? Is it the same? Is it like I didn't know what to do, so I got online. I said, okay, who trains open houses? Oh, this guy in the Bay Area makes $10 million a year doing open houses. So I pick up and I called him. Hey, Andy, say. I'm a brand new agent. I just landed my first listing. It's $1 million. What do I do next? And he says, okay, great. This is what you do. Do this. Signs here. Do that. Boom.
Yeah.
Just like people.
Having that message when people walk in the door, where it's not just you kind of like hiding over here, like waving at them like, hey, I'm Mr. Real Estate. Come back and talk to me. But it's driving them to the source to be able to collect their data, right? And it's a cold way of saying it, but realistically, that's what it is. We're trying to get to know people, but we're trying to market to them and figure out what their needs are, so we can solve the problem of I don't like the kitchen or I don't like the master bathroom, right?
Well, it's necessary, man. Like when I walk in Nordstrom's for a new suit, I know well what I'm there for. When the person tries to help me, the first thing I say is, no, I don't need any help, but thank you. Right. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
The person take me right to the suits. They probably can look at me and tell me what size I wear. I don't know what size I wear.
Yeah.
It's something in the open house. So like, we got to collect some data, but it's not to manipulate somebody. It's because I need to know why you're here today. Like, what are you actually looking for, so that I can provide a value that actually helps you get to your goal.
Yeah. No.
Not a bad thing.
Simple. And now with all the technology, it's just ridiculous. Like, we're putting people right into our CRM, back in the day. And I still like to teach people that they need to use a guest registry so they can have the conversation. Hey, please fill out my guest registry. I'd really appreciate it. And just that little component, I would really appreciate it. People are hardwired to be like, I don't want to let this guy down.
Yeah.
He would really appreciate it if I just put my first, last name, email address, and phone number.
How hard is it? And it's not like you're not going to be spamming them. You're trying to help them, right? So it's not
exactly.
that big. Yeah, well, we switched over to all tech now. We fingerprint everybody, and then we do retinal scans so that we know exactly what they're blocking. Yeah, we don't have
nothing creepy about it. You just hook them up to a
light little prick for a blood sample.
Yeah,
but we really get to know our clients that way.
Just hook them up to a lie detector and be like, "Are you really interested about buying today?"
Yeah,
and then awkwardly.
Ultimately, what I'm doing an open house is I'm looking for sellers anyways.
Yeah.
And I so often hear, oh, I didn't have any action today, just a bunch of neighbors kicking tires.
Oh, no.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, a bunch of neighbors just wanted to see the interior of this house. Yeah, so they can compare to theirs so they can put it on the market. It's not hard. It's not rocket science what's happening here. We just need to get down to the bottom of the issue so we can solve the problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I had no one show up today, Steve. It was too rainy. Really? I don't know, because dude had 30. How many signs did you put?
A lot of times, like when it's raining, I like to go inside a house. And if I'm being physically funneled to an open house,
good place to go.
If I've got the time in my calendar, I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
Average people don't even use a calendar. So they've got the time.
Yep.
Market to them, right? They're going. Rain or shine.
Yep.
Open houses are not outdoor events.
By happenstance, or is it happenstance or happen chance?
Happenstance. Pretty sure.
It is, right?
Yeah, just stick with what you did first and be confident about it.
That's a good plan. But by happenstance and chance, I did 2 open houses recently, and I was dreading the time constraint of it being away from the business for so long. But both times I had a great time, great conversations. It was fun getting out there and putting up all the signs. Did it myself, put all the signs out myself and everything. It was fun. Yeah, I think it was you that did the same house on Beamer. And I looked at your signs and I blew you away on one street. Like mine blew you away. But then I looked and I said, oh, man, there's another way to get to that house. And you had it all mapped out going back.
And, that one was we were kind of like put on the spot, right? And that, like the night before, we were like.
You help an agent out. That's right. So, but it was better than mine. And they just so you can get rusty if you don't practice.
Yeah, absolutely. That area is hot right now. People want it. It's almost like living in Northwest Yuba City, but just across the highway.
Flat on the highway. Yeah, it's still a nice area. Good people over there.
Yeah,
I'm in love with the Northwest Yuba City though. Since we got a house out here, like walking in the mornings and stuff, the people are so cool.
Yeah, I grew up over off of Stabler on Nadine, and I'm
out there too.
I've always had just an affinity for that area in that part of town in Yuba City because of the fact that it's where I was when I was a kid, right?
For sure, yeah. I really enjoyed the conversations. I like talking to people. I was out this morning at I left the house, jumped in the pool at 5 a.m. 5:05. Nice. Got dressed, I hit the street walking, and there was probably 20 people out. It was awesome. Just walking or jogging. Yep. Very cool. And we got the parrot guy. I just still don't know his name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but the parrot guy. Yeah. You know his name?
I don't, but isn't he like a doctor or something?
I have no idea. I see him only when I'm driving. I've never seen him when I'm walking to actually have a conversation.
I heard like he has like a super high profile job or something, and he's like all GQ'd out in his day-to-day life. And then, he walks around town with his parrots and his hat on or whatever.
Well, Matt, I got a lot of questions. I'm hoping to run into him. I mean, obviously we live in the same neighborhood, so I'm hoping to see him. I need to know, why do we fly across the street when we cross, and like why are we walking parrots? Like I don't know it was a thing, I've never seen it before. So I got questions.
You need to get to know him and then introduce me so I can ask him a bunch of awkward questions,
We'll do.
Awesome.
We'll do. Or so maybe someone will see this and they'll comment on there.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yep, for sure.
I like to think that people are watching.
Yeah, well, it lives forever. So eventually, you know, people get to see it and stuff,
Right.
and they say, "God, those two idiots talk too much."
Yeah, they're like, how did they make it to the top of the game? Jeez.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
for sure.
Man, thanks for coming on with me today. I appreciate it.
Love to, man. I love chatting with you.
Yeah,
it's cool to do it right here. Hopefully, we'll learn something about the guy with the parrots.
Yeah, that's cool. What I'm looking forward to. A follow-up conversation.
Amen. Yeah.
All right, brother. Thanks again. Stick around for a sec.